see. So we're good to go.
We're on.
We are on.
We're on the YouTubes too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna give another last tour before I sit this down. So this is Bright Frame Studios here in Burbank. Chief engineer and studio owner Erick here. I booked this room. I believe once.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. No, you did. Yeah.
I had to finish some songs, and I was just like, "Yo, let me use the studio."
Yep.
This studio is probably 5 months old.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as I'm trying to think, like, cause we started like, cause it was October. It's still, it's.
I would say it's like it just opened.
Yeah, not literally. Yeah, like to where now is like we did like the first project we did was the Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco Atmos mixes. We did that, and then
I know a few songs are out, but it's
no, the whole album. Yeah, no, the whole album was out.
Okay,
yeah.
I've only heard the first 3.
Yeah, no, and I did 12 out of the 14.
Shit.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then the second session after that, like literally right after that, was a recording session with this artist, Des Dior. She's with United Masters, I think.
Nice.
So that was cool. So it's like a good, good energy opening up to.
Yeah, Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Benny Blanco.
So that's always good.
Cool. And then I was showing before, this is the blueprint to the studio.
Yeah.
This is how they kind of.
That's the line drawing right there.
Lined it up out here.
Yeah, so all that line drawing, that's like literally math and science. And, it's not like we just came up with that. And it's like, you know what? I think the speakers will look dope right there. It's like, nah, that.
Yeah, this is what I would pay someone to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to sit here.
Yeah.
In this red dot.
Yeah.
And experience it and do my job. But other than that, call people like Erick and they'll come and build you this whole studio.
Yeah. Literally.
I'm interested in that aspect, but at some point I'm just like
it's a lot.
I like tune out, and I'm just like, so when is it gonna be done?
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm like, why did I get into this again?
Yeah. So, I don't know if we should talk about your background, Erick, but you're not just an audio engineer. You're not just a mixing engineer. You are also, or Adobe Atmos mixer. You also work with RSP, right?
Yeah, so I do work with RSP, and that's how pretty much that's how we ended up here. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one of those things where it's like, here, let's actually set up now so we could get this going. Here, let me bring the brightness down on this, so that way it's not like my head is shining.
That's crazy. I'm also getting text messages like, hey.
Yeah. What you gonna do? Put it on another stage. Let me bring this down a little bit on this end, so because we have light, so we could.
Okay.
We have light on that end.
Oh, I didn't even show the console, but.
Oh yeah, the S6. Yep.
So this is an Avid X6.
Yeah.
This is the largest one, right? In a sense.
This
There's
is like
larger.
This is way bigger. Like,
oh my god.
The thing is, like, they have the ones that I think you can put up to like 3 or 4 of these together. But this is like the medium. This is like the 5 chassis.
Yeah.
One, you know what I'm saying? So this is the one.
Super digital.
Yeah, like this whole thing is like, bro, you'll go into settings of Pro Tools that you didn't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
wow.
And even the way that we built it and had it all put together so that so we can do music and we can do film.
Yeah.
So we can mix music easily, we can record easy, and we can also mix film, because that's what these modules are for.
This is if a console went to a EDM party and came out.
And came back with a few bracelets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
So where do you wanna
We'll sit back here. I want you to talk more because this is your studio.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I think both of us have a lot to say, especially for this format.
Yeah, we're slowly gonna drop the gems and stuff like that.
Little by little. I mean, I guess, have you told the people about the what's it called? About the the courses and whatnot, or not yet?
Not yet. Okay. Yet. It hasn't been.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be cool.
It hasn't been name dropped.
Yeah. Okay. Should we talk about a little bit while we're here? Or?
Sure.
Because I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
So, basically, let's see.
Take it away, Jennifer.
Oh Lord.
Take it away. Take it away. Let's see. All right, let me bring this down. Because this, there we go, boom. Because that's not gonna lie, that's a lot of light.
Cool.
But anyways.
It's okay.
Yeah, so we're good on this. There we go. Yeah.
People have been hopping in, hopping out, so cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about Y.A.N.I. So, I know it sounds pretty funny. What is Y.A.N.I?
Yep.
Y.A.N.I stands for Your Audio Network of Innovators. Mm-hmm. So, I think we've been planning this for how long?
I think we started talking about it last year for sure when I started building this. Because you came in when we were calibrating the room.
Okay.
That was the first time you came in.
Yes.
And then that's how we start. You had the idea already of like doing some sort of like program to like certify.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To certify Atmos mixers and whatnot and everything. And then that actually developed into way more than just a certification now. Because I mean, now it's to the point where it's like, all right, you know, it's like, what are we going to do? Certify people? Mm-hmm. And, you know, because a lot of this information is extensive. It's a lot of info. And I think that's when, you know, we started talking about it more and actually you started developing more to it. It was like, you know what, instead of just doing a certification course type of, you know, whatever, I think we should build it into something where we actually teach and give the engineers like the tools that they need and the information that they need in order to become not just successful, but consistently deliver good Atmos mixers for music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, for me, this also came about of the lack of not having enough resources. Yeah. I'm so lazy to look on you. Sometimes I don't have the time to be on YouTube and looking at like how to mix in Adobe Atmos. Mm-hmm. I'm always either going to a session, I'm mixing, so I don't have the time to sit down and like sit through a video and be like, okay, so what tips can I get off of this? Yeah. The best way I learn is either going to a seminar, going to a workshop, being in the studio with somebody. Yeah. That's the best way to learn. And I think for me I would go to these seminars for Dolby Atmos, intros and stuff like that, but all these seminars had like guests that only did film. Yeah. Post-production or like classical music, and I'm like, I'm not mixing classical music. I'm mixing hip hop and R&B. So what tips can I like grab from these like super dope mixers that are mixing classical music? And it was kind of still confusing for me. So I was like, I came to Eric and I was like, I'm like, do you know any workshops that are like have to do with like mixing Dolby Atmos music now, like contemporary music? Yeah. And then you were like, no, I'm the same. Really. I just Google things. I'm just like, damn, like I don't want to do that. So, you told me about your studio and how you're building a studio, and I was just like, we should host workshops. Yeah. To build workshops on how to mix Dolby Atmos. For music and because the courses are dope and I'm happy that everybody's getting certified. I'm very interested in it, but at the same time, at least when I went through the course, I learned just the basics. Yeah. Like the true basics of just like learning the render. Yep. And that's it. And even then when I, graduated or whatever, I still was a little like, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And the thing is like, because I had conversations with other engineers too that have taken some of these courses and stuff, and like they got the the basic info, right, which is like how to connect the renderer, what's the renderer, and all this other stuff or whatever. Basically, like the technical side of things, which is something that you do have to learn, because that alone, it's like having to connect Pro Tools to the render, and then for that to consistently work, that was a pain. It's gotten better now for sure. You know what I'm saying, but there's still not enough information out there, to actually teach people, other mixers, how to mix Atmos in music for this format, and also too is like, for like Jennifer and I, we're fortunate that we do have, we have a network of other, engineer friends or whatever, and then people that we know over at Adobe, and then at RSPE and all these other companies, right? That you know we get information from them, right? Like Maurice from PMC, all these people that they give us this information, but a lot of a lot of the mixers they don't have that info. So that was the thing where it's like, well, look, we need to share that info. We need to be able to provide that for people so that so they can actually consistently get good Atmos mixes and not get not get just
lost.
Yeah,
in
not
the
get
sauce.
lost or basically, or or feel just basically like it's like aggravated to where it's like, man, how can I make it sound
Yeah.
good and this new format and all this other stuff? Because that's the whole thing. Is like we don't. The format is dope. It's amazing. I mean, the music sounds really good, and all of us we want people to actually start working in this format a lot more. We don't want people to just turn around and be like, nah, this isn't for me. This is not.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. I think the biggest misconception is like it doesn't sound loud, so I don't like Dolby, and it's just like I don't know what I think I've mixed Dolby for about 3 years, and every year I've gotten better, and I feel like my mixes have gotten very strong and louder to the point where I'm just like, I think the Dolby Atmos version sounds better than the stereo version. And it's nothing against stereo or whoever mixed it. It's more like I don't know. I feel like it's more less condensed. The stereo feels condensed and crunchy and tight. And then when you listen to the spatial version, it just sounds very open and more
dynamic.
alive.
Yeah, it's dynamic. That's the thing. Is like you have all this space now that we can actually work out of. But then also is being able to utilize that space to to like maximize it, right? Because what happens is when it went from mono to stereo, if you listen to a lot of like those the Beatle records a lot, it's like the drums are all the way to the left, the bass is all the way to the left, and whatever is all the way to the right, because people were still trying to figure out like, all right, what do we do? Because before we only had that one channel,
right?
So now that we have stereo that we can actually move things around, people realize like, okay, well, actually drums and bass sound better and left, left and right as opposed to just to the left or just to the right,
I still thought that was super cool. I
I
don't know if you heard
it is,
LA Woman by The Doors, and the drums are literally like either on the left or right, and then the keyboards either like they're just two separate entities. And then the vocals like right in the middle, and I thought that was like this coolest thing ever. And this is way before I even knew about Dolby. This is like probably 10 years ago or something. But I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And now to have spatial audio and like maximize it, it's just I don't know. I feel like I'm at a good age and stage in life to learn this.
100%. I mean, because that's the thing is like, look, back then you had like the technology limitation, right? And then, one of the things that people talk about, like, oh, well, you need a setup like this in order to mix. You don't, because that's the thing. It's like saying, like, you can't mix a song in stereo just because you don't have PMCs or whatever. It's like, you got KRKs, whatever. You're still mixing. You're still working on it. That's all it is. It's like, obviously the tech is new. So there's a lot of stuff that's like, that's still new. That obviously is expensive, but we're also getting to that point where now it's becoming inexpensive. It's becoming affordable for people to get some of the, to be able to build a room, because when I first started with RSPE building rooms, it's like, I mean, if you didn't have, I don't know, $150,000 to $500,000, you really wasn't, you really couldn't build an Atmos room. Now it's like we're putting all these packages together to where it's like, okay, now you can actually build a room.
Yeah.
It's still obviously, it could, it'll be out of like some people's budget, but now it's accessible to way more people now. Because now it's like, you can put aside, I don't know, 15, 20,000 or whatever, and actually get an Atmos room. And if you do this as, as your career and get paid for it.
Yeah.
That room can, or that setup can actually pay itself off in
a year, Well, with I think I just saw a kit on Sweetwater for like 4K.
Yeah.
And it's like 7.1.4 setup. You know what I mean? And if you get a couple Atmos mixes, you can definitely pay that off instantly.
Yeah, 100%.
or get it on. I love on Sweetwater. I loved getting everything on a payment plan. So I definitely, you know, I have a bunch of gear because of that. You know, I've never really dropped 4K on like or a 15K on speakers. So it's always been like, nah, I need this on a payment plan.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, it makes sense. Even obviously it makes sense financially, but it makes sense because the thing is like when you invest into a piece of gear or whatever it is that you're buying, right? You invested into it and then you bought it because you need it for this gig that you just got.
Yeah.
So essentially, this gig is actually paying for for this gear that you just bought.
Yeah.
And since you're doing payments, you do 2-3 gigs.
Yeah.
It's paying itself off as opposed to dropping all that money at once.
Yeah, but back to what Y.A.N.I is. We are basically building a network of audio engineers who work in spatial audio. And I've talked to a few engineers about it, and they're very excited to share their tips, their career stories, how they got into Dolby Atmos. And a lot of these engineers work on like the music we love listening to today.
Yeah.
They've either worked with Kendrick Lamar's music, you work with Selena Gomez. Yep. I just worked on the Rhapsody album. It's like a lot of contemporary music, and I'm excited to showcase in the workshops, open up sessions, talk about our process, and so people can actually get really good tips.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go not only talk about like how to mix in Dolby Atmos and what we use, but we're also leaning into like setting up speaker calibration.
Yeah. The whole thing, literally. The whole thing is like get you started from the very beginning all the way to the end. Because one of the things that we was talking about, it's like how how expensive all this things, all of this can get. So it's like, all right, you saved up some money, you bought the gear that you needed, but you still need to calibrate the room.
Right.
And Sound ID and a lot of these companies, they actually have a lot of these AI softwares or whatever that they're doing that are really doing a great job as far as like calibrating. But it's still AI. You still got to tweak it. You still got to go in and like fine tune certain things or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the things where it was like, okay, well let's give people the tools so they understand how to calibrate a room, how to do time delays, stuff that it's like, for a lot of us it'll be a lot easier to understand once you get the information. So it's like, and these are things that we've learned, from Brian and Jonathan over at Dolby Atmos. We've learned all this from, Maurice and PMC. Yeah. We learned all this, with Russ at RSP and all that stuff. So this is information that we've learned throughout the years from OGs, really, because these companies and these guys, they've been doing this since Atmos started, which is like more than 10 years ago, So it's like this is the information that we have that we're like, let's put this information out there so people know how to start, how to get their room set up, how to actually get consistently good mixes on the music side of things. Because, I mean, they definitely have a lot of info, or at least enough info out there for the film side of things. But on the music side, it's, it's still like
it's
the
so
wild,
sporadic.
Wild West. Yeah.
Like, there's still stuff. I remember we've been working on, like, mixing techniques lately and sharing it back and forth. And to just bring our brains together and be like, this is what we figured out in order to like keep, especially with hip hop, we have so much that energy with like the drums and stuff, and when we start spreading it out in the room, it loses that like tightness and integrity. So we're like, oh shit, so what do I do like in order to bring it back, but this time in a big space? So we've worked on techniques, and it sounds dope in the speakers for sure, but in headphones we're like, oh fuck, it's like like the stereo mix. It's keeping its energy, and maybe even better, Oh
no, we definitely beating the stereo masters. What I'm saying? Like on headphones, and that's the goal. It's like, because as far as like spatial, that's what everyone's consuming it right now, just headphones. So that's the goal right now, is like beating those stereo masters, beating them with the spatial, and that's what we've been doing right now consistently, to where we have this info to, is like, all right, cool, this actually works. Like, these mixes are sounding better, and it's not saying that the stereo didn't sound good. Obviously, no, they sound phenomenal. But it's like, if you can get your music to sound better, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where we at now, you know, so.
Yeah, we're hoping to, we're all these little things we're going to add to our workshop.
Yeah.
And we should be having a workshop pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think we have a date already, but we're going to slowly roll it out. But yeah, this workshop will include, it's an in-person workshop at Erick's studio in Burbank. And it's going to be very intimate, so it's going to be a few people part of the workshop. We're going to talk about speaker calibration. We're going to talk about the internal and external render. We're going to talk about even folder organization, because it's a big part of like keeping your sessions organized, and also the way you're using Oxys and certain buses to like bring your dynamics in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, even as far as like, you know, simple things like deliverables, how to deliver your mixes to the label, you know, like they have a specific, you know, metadata that they want, you know, the files to you know, to be labeled as. So it's stuff like that, because some, you know, that's, I guess it's like as stupid as that sounds. I mean, some of that stuff can get your, you know, your files and your mixes rejected just because you didn't label the thing the right way, or you didn't have the right binaural settings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like small little things like that again that can be frustrating, because you're like, all right, mix sounds good, let me deliver it to the label, and then now all of a sudden the label's like, yeah, nah, you're gonna have to rebounce.
And the issue is that a lot of these happen. A lot of these Atmos mixes, they want them like in 2 days or the next day. And then if you mess up and let's say you send the Atmos version, the ADM, you send it, and the song drops on Thursday. You send it on Monday, the song drops on Thursday. So if it still has to go through a QC process.
That's it.
And that QC process can flag a bunch of things in the audio format and then delay the delivery. So now the song comes out on Thursday in stereo, but it doesn't come out in Atmos. It comes out in 3 days or however the long the QC takes. And QC only works from Monday to Friday.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, so they're not gonna look at your
from 9 to 5.
they're not gonna look at your next revision on Saturday or Sunday.
Not
you
at
know,
all.
So then you know, you're delaying the artist, you're delaying the promo, and it just doesn't look right. So you would want to, when you send that final ADM, you want it to be perfect, so it comes out when the stereo version comes out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna cover in these workshops, is like folder organization, binaural settings, obviously mixing techniques that we've been working on. We're also going to talk about mastering. I know that we had a question about mastering on there. I kind of saw it. For me, I master all my Dolby Atmos mixes. I like to use the Dolby Atmos album assembler. And, I mean, for me, it works fine. I've never sent out my Atmos mixing to a mastering engineer. I know other people do, but for me and a few other engineers, I know for a fact they master everything themselves. And then the like coolest thing about the workshop that I feel it's gonna be pretty cool about it is that we're gonna have a guest come in, someone who's worked in Dolby Atmos for a while and it's mixed known records, and they're gonna come in and open up their session and talk about their career, talk about their techniques, and you can go ahead and ask him questions. Again, this is going to be a very intimate setting, so it's only a few people that are going to be in the workshop. But yeah, and then we're just going to talk about what the future at Atmos is, what kind of like brands and cars and basically
I mean all
equipment
the,
that's going to come up with like
all the gear, all the you know basically all the consumer stuff, right? You know, Amazon speakers and all this stuff, you know, with Apple's, like, you know, some of the stuff that they're working on and some of the information that they you know, they share with us as mixers, you know. So all these things, like, you know, we'll talk about, we'll give this information out, you know, so we can give all these tools for people. Again, it's like, because the main goal out of this is so that everybody can have these tools, right? And then everybody can deliver consistently, like, good mixes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just like, we're just going to have a whole bunch of just crazy mixes flying around. It's like, man, look, we don't, you know, like we don't mind sharing the info, you know, so that way we all can, you know, work towards the same goal, which is just, you know, getting better music. You know what I'm saying? Just better sounding records.
Yes. So, yeah, this workshop will happen here in person with a few people, and it's gonna be about. We're still thinking about how long is it gonna. It's gonna be maybe like 6 hours, 7 hours of content in the studio. Fully equipped Atmos Studio 914, right?
Yeah, 914.
So it's more than your standard 714.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is 714, and we'll talk about that too, right? 714 is the minimum, but then if you're working on music, 914 is what's recommended. You know, even Dolby will tell you that, you know, because you do benefit from having those 2 extra channels or whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll touch on a lot of things. You know, it's like, and then again, we're going to be doing it in the actual studio, right? Like properly calibrated, you know, where you're going to be able to hear some of your work as well, because it's not something that it's like, all right, we'll give you the information and then good luck. It's like, no, well, we'll give you the info, work on a mix. Now let's play those mixes back. Let's hear it, and so that way, you know, as far as like the mix or whatever, you can actually hear how it sounds in a room, right? If you haven't gotten a chance to do that yet, you know that'll happen here. Yes. So you have that information. So whenever you can actually start mixing headphones and have an idea how it's gonna sound in the room. Yeah. You know, so that all that stuff is, you know, again, is info that we want to share with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, so we can so that we can just kind of have a level playing field on that. You know?
Yeah. So this workshop's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen in May.
Yeah.
We're slowly gonna roll out the details, and to be part of the workshop, you have to at least be certified in Dolby Atmos. It doesn't matter where you got your certification, whether if it's the online certification with Pro Tools or Avid. I know there's a new one with Dolby. They're doing it's not a full certification, but it's like the learning the basics. I forgot what's it called, but that's fine too.
Oh, well, they have because they do have some. I don't know.
I forgot what's
courses
it called.
Or something like that they have.
Yeah, it's like an online course you can take.
Yeah, and I think the Dolby one is free, so you can actually go to their website and you can download some of the content that they have there, and that'll teach you like the basics of it. Yeah, super basic stuff, right? It's like what's the renderer, what is the renderer for, and with the LTC channel, what are binaural settings, etc. So, you know, obviously we want you guys to have that info before you come to us, because then the information we'll give you,
it's a little bit more advanced than just the basics.
Yeah, it's actually a little way more advanced. So we want to make sure that, you know, if you're going to be here, that you're going to be able to keep up and benefit from it, not just, you know, play catch up and just like, oh, shit, I don't know what I'm doing, you know.
Yeah. Let me end it. But, if you're not certified and you learn on your own how to mix in Dolby Atmos, we do require you to send a ADM file so we can see like where your head's at, how the music sounds. If you usually when you send an ADM file, you know something about Dolby Atmos. So those are the requirements to be part of the workshop. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just very excited to have this workshop because there's no other workshop out there that has to do about spatial audio music. You know, so I think being part of this workshop is going to be a big benefit for those who are just starting to mix in spatial audio and using Dolby Atmos render and probably don't have access to a studio. So you'll definitely come in and we're going to give out a few tips on how to compensate for that, even though you still have to come in, QC your mixes in a Dolby Atmos room. But this is a perfect chance for you to like experience what it is to work mixes in a studio. Yeah, 100%. And switch back and forth to binaural. I know for me, I don't have a studio, so I do a lot of the work at home. 90% of it I do it at home on headphones, and then I'll take it to a studio and final QC it. And I like that. I feel way comfortable to just send things out to the label and get it submitted and not have any like flags show up or anything like that.
Oh no, 100%. And that's the pretty much like all the headaches and every like uncomfortable thing that we've gone through to get to this point. That's what we basically gonna do is we're gonna eliminate that for a lot of you. You know, it's like you don't have to worry about that. And also on top of that, even like after the course, right? Even after you take the course and do all this other stuff, you still have access to communicate with us and with everyone else. You know, because we'll have a Discord for that, so that way we all can communicate with each other, have that network of people. You know, because again, it's like we want to continue being able to help each other out, right? Because then you know there's gonna be a lot of a lot of other mixers that they're gonna come up with their own techniques and whatnot that we don't know about, and we wanna know and we wanna benefit from it as well. So that's where the Discord comes in, you know. So again, you take the course, all this other stuff, right? But it keeps it keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying?
Again, we're a network of innovators, so that's what Y.A.N.I is, your audio network of innovators, and we're super excited to showcase this workshop. Me and Eric will be posting more details soon, and if you're part of our first workshop, we're very excited because, you know, we're looking forward to like building it and having a amazing experience and just sharing knowledge, honestly, with Dolby Atmos and what we have been learning throughout the years. Mixing in Dolby Atmos. I know you've not only mixed but built a bunch of Atmos rooms, so you have a greater like sense of knowledge of like rooms and
setups and all that stuff. Because I mean, I've done setups from for film and for music, right? I've done Nickelodeon, Paramount, Warner, and a whole bunch of like really nice home studios.
Too. No. Like around the nation.
Yeah, because we've done in New Orleans, we've done. We did one in Dubai as well. So it's that's the thing is like we've been doing that and we've been really successful at that. So it's like building these rooms. We've actually developed really good relationships with other companies, with other mixers and whatnot. You know, so it's like all this stuff, it's all this information that we have that it's like, we're going to share with you guys. So that way you can actually understand how all of it works and have something to come back to, right? To just revisit and like, okay, cool, let me watch this and tapping back into the whole thing with the Discord. Any questions you have after the course or whatever, you still can contact us and you can still get info from us, So it's it'll be beneficial, It's something that I know for sure we wish we had back then, you know what I'm saying? No,
I was definitely hearing other engineers like, hey, so what do you think about my mix? Like, and then they're like, oh, I like it. I'm like, it's already out, but I was just wondering if you thought it was cool. Like, shit, a lot of this shit is due the next day.
It is. It really is.
So how am I going to send it to someone and be like, hey, can you check it out? Like, I at this time, I've sent it. So.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. A lot of this stuff, it's like, hey, can you do this, like, by tomorrow, by tonight or whatever it is, So, but, we've been lucky to have, again, that a good amount of, I guess, support system with other engineers that have been doing this for a while, right? That's giving them some of their time to us to teach us and how to get this whole thing, But again, everyone's busy, so it's not like we can have them 24/7 or whatever, So, but we that's the whole thing. Well, that's going back to the whole thing with the course. It's like that's the reason why we developed this to be more than just a certification thing. Where it's like, what? Nah, let's give everything to the people. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them all the info that we can.
Again, what's going to be on the workshop before we end this live? What's going to be on the workshop? This Y.A.N.I workshop for spatial audio mixing. It's going to be for advanced users and then also kind of beginners. Yeah. But what's going to be on there, it's going to be speaker calibration, internal and external render connections, folder organization, binaural settings, mixing techniques, Dolby Atmos album assembler in case you want to master all your mixes on your own. And we're going to feature a VIP guest who has been mixing in the world of Dolby Atmos and has probably mixed your favorite songs, So we're excited to have a guest on the workshop, in the workshop, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be in person, very intimate at this studio with Eric and me. And, it should be launching pretty soon. I believe one of the dates is in May. So stay tuned so you can get your tickets and your spot and your seat in here.
Yeah, because that's another thing, too. We'll do a pre-order first. And that's something that, hopefully a lot of you guys can benefit from because that'll be at a discounted rate. And then, you know, if you get closer to the date and you haven't got one, then obviously the price gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? But we'll do all that stuff. We'll provide more info on everything. You know.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of really good information, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we
and
might.
then me and Eric have mixed in ambos. At least I've done it for 3 years. You've done it a little bit longer, and I've mixed a lot of records with. You know, I did Rhapsody. I did Umi. I did what else? I don't know. Like, I did Pokemon for Netflix, so that was pretty cool. And I know you just released something with Selena Gomez.
Yeah, did the Selena Gomez
and Benny Blanco.
Mixes. Yeah, with the Benny Blanco stuff, that was cool. So that's another one. And even some of that stuff, we'll open up in the workshops. Like, we'll open up the sessions, go over that, and just like what approach what approach we took on those mixes and why we did the moves that we did, the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a lot of good stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of good stuff. So it's like, it's a lot of information that, I mean, I might even get in trouble for sharing.
Yeah, but I'm getting it's an intimate situation. We're only going to have, it's going to be a workshop with like maybe 15 people, I don't know, or less, but it's going to be very intimate, and it's just going to be dedicated for the people who show up, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And these tips and tricks, you can't get them anywhere else unless you sit around for a whole week or a month or a couple months on YouTube or Google and collect all these.
Not even. That's the thing, is a lot of this information you won't be able to find on Google. No. And I can tell you that personally, just because, going back to like building the rooms and all this other stuff, a lot, the amount of calls that we get, like, I looked this up on Google, I looked this up on YouTube. They couldn't find it because there's not enough information out there for it. And that's the thing, is like, we've been able to accumulate that information, and
it's through experience and like relationships and networking really and talking to plug-in companies, talking to speaker companies, talking on panels, talking to like the goats above us who mix like jazz and classical and catalog music. We've gotten tips and tricks from them, so it's like we're happy to share everything all together in this workshop. And if you have any questions about it, DM us, DM Eric. We're gonna put this on IG and connect us, and but other than that, it's pretty much it. I don't want to keep going because I got a session in like 2 hours. But
I know.
Other than that, I mean, is there any questions on YouTube? I know there was some here before we like leave.
Nah, mainly it's just been people saying, saying
hi.
Yeah, like, hi, this workshop sounds so dope. So yeah, but shout out to everybody that tuned in and and tapped in with us, man. We really appreciate that a lot.
Yep. Thank you for tapping in. There was people definitely coming in and out, so it's definitely a good topic. People are interested. Other than that, I'm gonna show you the studio one more time in case you guys want to see it. But thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions about the workshop, we will be rolling out the information pretty soon.
Yep.
Super excited. And we'll have another live too.
Yeah.
We'll have another live, and this time it's not gonna be just us two. Yep. It's gonna be some other another mix
It'll
engineer.
Be a very special guest.
A really cool engineer who has mixed a lot of amazing Atmos mixes.
Yeah, a lot of Atmos mixes. Yeah.
So I'm excited to answer, give him some questions and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
But other than that, it's gonna be on IG. I can't.
Yeah.
YouTube, I'm sorry. Go back to IG so we can show you the room.
I know.
But I'm gonna go ahead and show you the room. Let's see. I'm gonna bring up the lights.
Yeah, Jabriz Beats, for sure, bro. Yeah, this is Dan, bro. This is, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, but this is pretty much it, bro.
Okay, so we are in Burbank.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up on YouTube. So appreciate everybody tapping in.